In this video, I'm going to be talking about why the Criterion Channel is the greatest streaming service for film buffs and movie lovers from around the world. Hi everyone, my name is Robert Bellissimo, and I'm an actor and acting teacher from Toronto, Canada, and I am one half of the Coffee with Aliens at the Movies team, which is a film channel dedicated to educating people about film, to entertain them as well with our quirky personalities and whatnot. We are going to be doing weekly live YouTube film talks about different actors or different directors. We have a movie every other day focusing on a different director or a streaming service like this, or movie reviews, DVD unboxing, and so on and so forth. So we're doing a lot of different things, and I wanted to talk today about the Criterion Channel because I absolutely love this streaming service. And forget about Netflix or anything else out there as far as I'm concerned. No disrespect to Netflix. Netflix has its share of good movies, but the Criterion Channel is really for people really interested in educating themselves about film from all over the world. And I don't even want to miss some of the features it has, so I wrote it down. This is my script. So Adventures in Movie Going, which is looking at directors and poets and writers and actors and talking about their favorite movies that has had an effect on their lives. I don't believe it's every month. I think it's every other month they have someone come on and do this. And they're just fascinating interviews, and they talk for a half an hour. They talk about the films that shaped them. And then a lot of the films they discuss end up going on the Criterion Channel for a couple of months. So you're really looking at the perspective of that writer or that director. They also have just their Criterion collections, and they literally will take movies from their catalog and put them on there, as well as the special features that are on the DVDs and Blu-rays, which is fantastic. They have a section which is dedicated purely to women filmmakers from all over the world, and I've been discovering so many women filmmakers that I didn't even know who have been making some fantastic work from, again, all over the place. Black Lives, dedicated to black filmmakers, again, from all over the world, talking about movies. Now, this is a little like the Criterion Closet in the sense that it's people talking about movies and they go through movies that they love and that shape them, and it's just snippets of interviews and behind the scenes looks, and they're just short 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something to put on before you go to bed or wake up to with your morning coffee. I do it every day. Excuse me, hopefully no one clicked off when I had that sip. You gotta drink, right? Coffee, that is. But going forward, where was I? In the sense that, yes, it's just a fun thing. And you learn a lot as well. So sometimes I like to just binge watch those. Some of the Criterion Closet episodes that you'll see on YouTube are on there as well. So these are just, some of the things that they highlight. And it really feels like a daily film festival. It doesn't just feel like a streaming service with a catalog that gets changed every now and then. It's really an event. Every day is an event. They dedicate every day to a certain director or a certain actor, and they'll have 9 films dedicated to this actor and a beautiful trailer to go with it and special features. So every day it's like you're going to your favorite film festival, but it's right in the comfort of your own home, or on your you're killing some time and on your phone if you get the app. So I fell in love with this service. I admit that I actually thought that they were just going to take the catalog they have and put it on a streaming service, but no, this is much more than that. And again, it's not just their catalog; it is films from all over the place. Some of them may even some of them may surprise you about what they're putting on there. I'm not saying that anything bad, but maybe you would think, oh, that wouldn't be something I'd expect them to put on Criteria. But just really stuff that's just all over the place. So I just absolutely adore it. So I highly, if you haven't subscribed, highly suggest that you get the streaming service. What are you doing not having this service? It's fantastic. And they have a 2-week free trial, and then it's about the same as Netflix. It's about $10 a month. So I wanted to highlight a few films that are on the channel that I absolutely adore. That some of them which I discovered. Now, didn't know the Japanese director Ozu too well. I knew some of his films, and I knew of him, but I hadn't seen any of his films, and they have practically all his movies, which again, they also have a lot of his movies on DVD. And I watched There Was a Father, which I mean, literally, for a film that doesn't even have that much emotion with the characters, had me bawling my eyes out at the end because of what's happening. And it's simply about a father and son, and the mother has passed away, and the boy is young, and the father's like, okay, well, you got to go to school here. I forget where they are exactly, and I got to go work in Tokyo so I can make money so you can get a proper education. And the son, of course, is devastated. He loves his father. He wants to live with his father. And, the father is a very hard-nosed guy, not a mean guy, but just very, this is what we have to do. And, don't cry and we'll be fine. We'll see each other. And so it's less about what the emotional support of the child, what the child needs every day, but more about what he's going to need for his future. So it's very much like, this is what we need to do so you can have a good life. So it's very devastating to see, but they don't every time he looks forward to seeing his father. As he grows older, they basically have this long distance relationship. And what happens is the father eventually, sorry to spoil it, but the father eventually dies. And I have to say, the reason I'm saying it is because the last scene is so touching to see the son on a train. I forget who he's with. He's with this woman. And after the funeral, he's smiling and she says, is everything okay? And because he looks sad. And then with a smile on his face, he says, all I ever wanted was to live with my father. With a smile on his face. And it sums up the relationship again of don't cry. Don't cry, the father would tell him. So, Ozu just understood these familial relationships. He understood the ordinary people, everyday people, and their relationships. And not a person on earth, I don't think, wouldn't be able to not relate to his films. And I love anything to do with families on film, dysfunctional families, good families, whatever it may be. And this is a work that you need to see for sure. Other than that, another film that I'd highly recommend is Wanda, directed by Barbara Loden. And this was the first female to direct, star, and write her own feature film. Now, when it came out, I don't know how well it did. She did on the Criterion Channel, which they also released on DVD and Blu-ray last year. There's an interview with her at the AFI. There's also a great 50-minute documentary just before she had passed, which is really touching, a really great portrait of this woman who's a fantastic artist and actor and writer and director, had multi-talent, and I believe she taught as well. You could see her directing a play. She just was marvelous. I just this sweet woman, and she wrote this beautiful script. Someone gave her the money to do it, and she was married to Elia Kazan, for anyone who doesn't know that. And he was going to do it, but he said, if I'm going to do this, I'm just going to be doing this for you as a favor. You should do it. So she did. And it's about a woman who doesn't have a voice. So a woman who's brought up to not have a voice, not stand up for herself, not say what she wants. And this obviously spoke to a lot of women who may have been repressed or brought up to be controlled or not have a voice, not have an opinion, not share what they think or how they feel. But she does something about it. She leaves her husband and her kids, which seems like cruel, and how can you do that? But she is suffering. It's ambiguous. You don't know exactly what's going on with her husband, but you get the impression that this is not going well for her, that she doesn't know who she is. She hits the road, she hitchhikes, she doesn't know what she's going to do. She ends up meeting this guy who goes and he's a criminal. He wants to rob some banks, and he, in a way, kind of kidnaps her. And she, again, like with her husband, gets stuck with him and doesn't have the confidence to say, I want to leave. I don't want to be here with you. Leave me alone. So it's a really fascinating portrayal of someone who is looking for a voice but doesn't know how to get it. And this is what I love to see in movies, and I wish I saw it more and more, of people who don't know what they're doing. They're trying to figure it all out, and they don't exactly know how to go about it. And that's really what life, as much as we try to look at that we know what we're doing, we just think we know what we're doing. So I thought it was such a great, psychological perspective of this woman who is searching for herself, searching for her voice. And to me, even though it's sort of a sad ending in a way, but it's optimistic in the sense, because she's still out there. She may be alone, she may be lost, but she's out there and she's on this path. So will she get there? That's the question. So that is a fantastic film. Of course, I always mention John Cassavetes. John Cassavetes, they have Opening Night, Husbands, and Faces and Shadows on there. I just want to mention a little bit about, Husbands is great, but Faces I watched recently again, and this is a film that John spent 3 years making. For a little bit of trivia, from 65 to 68, if you can believe that. His wife was pregnant while they were filming it. The lead actress, Lynn Carlin, was pregnant and then had another baby by the time they edited it 3 years later. So this film went through so many cuts and different uh, people working on it, but it is a masterwork. And again, looking at the problems between women and men, and how the exploring relationship, not just problems, but exploring what a man and women are like. Again, middle class, common people, something you don't see enough, especially in mainstream commercial cinema, is your everyday people and their struggles and their lack of communication, and how often we may be sleepwalking through life, and eventually something hits us and we react. We don't know what to do. And John's films, a lot of them are like that. And that's what happens in here, is that they all get hit with something and they don't know what to do, and they panic and they react and they try to put it all back together and fail and get up and fall again. So it's such a good movie. And you also see a lot of what's very true about a certain type of men. If anyone's been in a bar at 2 a.m. closing time, you know what I mean. 2 a.m. here anyways. I don't know closing time in other cities, but here, Toronto, 2 a.m. usually is closing time. And it's fascinating to see the men who are being obnoxious and drunk and trying to be competitive with each other to pick up the women that they're attracted to, and they like kids. And he has scenes like that go on for like 10 minutes, and they start to grate on you and they irritate you, but you've got to just be patient and curious about the psychology of what's going on with these characters and the relationships, and really enjoying the interaction, not just saying, well, what's the story, where are we going, and trying to figure it all out, but just take it for what it is. And I think that's the way you have to watch Cassavetes films. And I think actually when you watch it that way, they fly by, because you're getting involved with them and really are a part of the film as a result of your curiosity about, John doesn't give you the answers, right? So you make up the answers for why these people are the way they are. So that's another great one. And I also wanted to highlight a really great film that was by Charles Burnett. He didn't direct it, and forgive me, I can't remember the director's name, but he did the cinematography for this, and it's called Bless Their Little Hearts. And it's about an African-American family in Los Angeles. Again, familial relationships. It's a theme to this. I didn't even mean to pick out things to do with families and struggling, but hey, these are the kind of films that I'm attracted to. And they show this family who are basically struggling economically, and how that affects your children, how that affects your relationship, how that affects your emotions, and I mean, we've all been there when you're strapped for cash or whatever it is, and it affects everything around you, and how the man takes an affair up with another woman as a way to just escape his economic problems. And you don't know exactly why he's having such a hard time finding work. He does odd jobs. He works as a day laborer. He sells fish, but he's got 3 kids. So it hits at you. And some of the scenes are just absolutely heartbreaking, to see that stress and that emotion, and just life just beating you down. But it's just, this is something I discovered on the Criterion Channel. Without the Criterion Channel, I wouldn't have known of its existence. So you have to check that one out as well. I can go on and on, folks. But here we are, and I'll wrap it up here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you took something from this, and that you will check out the Criterion Channel if you haven't already done so. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already done so. The link is in the description box below. Thanks so much, everyone, again. I'm Robert Bellissimo. See you next time.